Hello everyone, welcome back. It is time for starting 11 predictions for Sunday's game at Ibrox against Rangers in the last derby of the season. If you watched the preview show, you'd have seen the discussion around whether we're going to invest players. There's been a bit of debate about that this week. I don't think that's the case. I think we're going to be as near full strength as we can be and massively motivated for this one. So we'll start in goals. As we always do, Scott Bain, the best goalkeeper in Scotland. He's got the most clean sheets in the league. He's only played 18 games and he's kept 15 clean sheets. He's been absolutely outstanding for us. I'm saying it week after week now. We've seen it again at Pittodrie last week. Kept a clean sheet. Okay, James Wilson missed some absolutely glorious chances, but Scott Bain made some good saves as well. So he's been absolutely brilliant and he'll start in goals. Right back, Mikael Lustig. Great to see him getting a goal last week. He's obviously been much maligned this season, and rightly so at times, because he is getting on and he's had some really poor performances, but credit where it's due. He was good last week. I thought his header was brilliant. Timed his run really well. The ball skidding up off the surface. Great diving header. So he'll continue at right back. Centre half, the solid centre half pairing of Christopher Ajer and Jozo Simunovic will continue. Jozo, again, brilliant to see him getting another goal from a corner, which is an absolute rarity for us. So that's 2 weeks in a row that Big Jozo's managed to get in the score sheet. I wonder if he can make it 3 this weekend. Those two have been brilliant together, really bringing out the best in each other, so they'll continue in there. Left back is where we have the Tierney hernia dilemma. You seen his interview last week where he's saying he's in real pain, trying to manage his injury. He got 55-60 minutes last week. I think we need to protect him. I think he shouldn't play in this game. Obviously, we know what these games are like. We know that Rangers will be right up for it. I'm sure there'll be a few tackles flying about as well, because we know what to expect from them. So I think we should rest KT for this one. Johnny Hayes, I'm going to put Johnny Hayes in at left back. I don't think Izagiri is equipped to deal with this game. I think Johnny Hayes is much the better option to go with, and he replaced KT last weekend, so I expect him to start at left back. In midfield, Scott Brown, I'm sure eager to right the wrongs from the last trip to Ibrox, albeit we done that to a certain extent in the Celtic Park 2-1 victory. We know that he'll get the usual hostile treatment, but I expect him to be right up for it, leading the team, of course. Alongside him, Carolyn Mcgregor. Again, one of the first names in the team sheet, as we say every single week. In front of them, Tom Rogich. A bit of talk about Tom Rogich being linked with Leicester and Southampton this week. I find that strange, actually. I know there's the whole link with the former Celtic manager in terms of Leicester, but we know what his qualities are. He has been brilliant for us, but he's only just getting back up to speed now with his fitness and his sharpness, so I don't expect him to be going anywhere in the summer. I thought last week against Aberdeen, it's probably the best we've seen him since he's come back from injury, so he'll continue in there. Again, big game player domestically, scored goals in these games before, a lot of goals, in fact, big goals, so I expect him to play in that 10 role, and hopefully he can have as big an impact as we've seen him have in these games before. Right wing, the PFA Player of the Year, James Forrest. Again, I thought he was good in spells last week. I think he's well deserving of the PFA award. As I touched on, he was unlucky to miss out on the Celtic awards to Carolyn Mcgregor, but for his fellow professionals to vote him Player of the Year in Scotland tells you how good he's been. As I've said last week, the numbers: 17 goals, 20 assists, absolutely brilliant, really coming into his peak. Left hand side, again, a bit of a headache here for Neil Lennon. I think he went with Timo Weir last week, sorry. Scott Sinclair the week before, with Hayes being at left back. I'm going to go with Sinclair. I think he'll just opt for Sinclair based on his experience in these fixtures. We know that he's a goal threat as well, and he scored some big goals in these games too. So I think we'll start with Scott Sinclair out wide. I think Weir is a great option off the bench for us. Direct, pacey, and he's had his best impact as a substitute. So I think we'll see him at some point in the game, but I think Sinclair will start out wide. Up top, the one and only Odsonne Edouard, who I thought was absolutely exceptional last week. He was my man of the match. I thought he caused Aberdeen problems all day. I thought his hold-up play was terrific. He had some absolutely superb touches, just like taking the ball out of the sky, killing it stone dead, holding it up, bringing other players into play, and he topped it off with a great goal as well. So he will lead the line. I fully expect that, and again, like Rogich, like Sinclair, has scored big goals in these games, so I fully expect him to start in there, and if we get a big performance from him, I'm confident that we'll win the game. It's obviously going to be a tough one. I think we've seen the last time at Ibrox that if we don't turn up and we put in a really poor performance that day, that if we do that, we can get beaten. But we're in a much better place now than we were in December. When you think about that team in December, we had Carolyn Mcgregor out of position at left back. We were ravaged by injuries, as we have been for big spells this season. We had Mikey Johnson up front. Edouard came off the bench injured when we were chasing the game towards the end. We were depleted at that time. We're in a much better place now. Big players fit, as I've touched on, Rogich, Edouard. So if we put in a level of performance like we've seen last weekend against Aberdeen, I think we can win the game. I think it will be close. I'm going for 2-1, as you've seen in the preview show. Don't forget to like the video, comment your own thoughts on the game below. Who do you think will start at left back? Do you think we should vest Tierney? Who do you think will start on the left hand side as well? And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you on Sunday for reaction after the game. Thank you.